the big space left behind by the Rover SD1, because of course it had to come up to there and then finished being somewhere about here. That is a big chunk of the task complete with one wobbly green Rover. Actually, it wasn't wobbly. Once I started to see the Rover SD1 on its way out, I had a little feeling of, I'm going to miss this thing. Obviously, I'm not going to miss the space it takes up. And I'm probably, believe it or not, going to have something a bit like that with this Caravan. So, in order to, yeah, I've got an idea. Got an idea, yes. It's not quite as simple as just hooking the Caravan up and then going, because the jockey wheel seems to have gone missing, and the legs, the legs don't really want to operate properly, and the wheels have flat tires. I mean, completely flat. It's fair enough, you pump them up, but no, you can't just pump them up because they go flat straight away, both of them. I don't know why. It was perfectly all right when I brought the Caravan here, and then it just suddenly went wrong. The good news is it looks like the Rover standard wheels will fit, and that means all I've got to do is pull it out and get the wheels off and replace them. But I don't really want to pull it out unless I know for definite I can replace those wheels, because once I pull it out, it will be taking up more space than it currently is doing, won't it? Now, before we go any further, this Caravan is to be taken away and off to Halifax or somewhere like that, where it shall live a fruitful life and enjoy itself, not be stuck in the corner, not used. That means that I have some tasks to do. You may well know exactly what is involved in moving a Caravan. You may know more about it than what I do. In fact, if you've ever moved one, then you will do. But I'm going to go through what I've got to do. There is a smoky Land Rover up there that does have a tow bar. If I can get it started, I can reverse it down here. And that's just the start of the possibilities. You see, then I've got to hook it up to the Caravan, haven't I? I've got to use the jockey wheel to manoeuvre it up and down. I've got to get the legs out of the way. And then I've got to pull this along here enough so that I have some hard standing ground to take the wheels off and replace them with wheels that aren't flat. Now, I bet every single one of those steps will be somewhat hindered by something that either I don't expect or something that doesn't want to happen. There may be a few bits to move out of the way, although pulling it forward shouldn't be too bad, you know. Just see how I get on. I mean, I've got loads of time, haven't I? I've got all the time in the world. But, firstly, of course, the battery is going to be flat on the Land Rover, isn't it? So I should take the jump pack. But I'm not going to. Because I'm just going to see. You never know, I might not need it. Yeah, it does need it. Of course it does. Jump pack on. What's that? I'm obviously not making a very good connection. It's turning over now, but it's not wanting to start. So there we go. First problem. Well, actually, the first problem was the battery being flat, and the second is it not wanting to start. I can see a pattern forming here. Yes, right. Okay, good. There's a start. The lumpy Land Rover, and smoky. Very smoky. Yes. It's not getting any better, is it? That really does stink. Left a ratchet strap on the tow bar, so I've got to get that off. But I'm not doing it with all this smoke. Gosh, it's awful. So I've just got to hope I can start it again. There's the ratchet strap off the towing hook with the aid of a screwdriver. Maybe that's the end of... Maybe that's not the end of things not working out just fine. Good, we're back on. Time for a little vertical camp. And I need to go like that. And then like that. I think that might be just about right. 2 inches off. Isn't this interior nice? Your Boaty's right. He kept saying, you should have this car. You should have this car because it's just such a nice interior. And it is. If only I liked it a bit more. Well, I would like it if it didn't smoke so much. I can't leave that engine running whilst I do this. Now the next problem may well be these steady legs, because one of them was starting to round off a bit when I was trying to raise it up, but going down, different matter, isn't it? Now, amazingly, this has gone without really too much of a hiccup, because the thing is now hooked on. The legs came up without any problem. The jockey wheel went into place without being an arsehole. And as I step inside the Caravan's now non-permanent plot here, I can see a dream. Looking out ahead, we see the Land Rover hooked up, ready to take this van anywhere it wants to go. Except for two things. I wouldn't want to drive that anywhere. I'm sat in Boaty's seat, and I've got to say, this one's a bit more comfortable. Ah, gosh. No wonder he likes it so much. Anyway, if the next bit can go just as swimmingly, then we'll be all set to find a new home for this Caravan. Because all I've got to do now is it from the mud and fit two wheels on it that aren't going to go down instantly, like the ones that do, right? What else could go wrong? Well, I could find that I take the wheel off and they look the same, but they're not quite. Or perhaps the wheel nuts have been done up too tightly. You just never know, do you? Back to vertical again. And now, time to move it. What's going to happen? Oh, balls. Right. It's kind of what I thought might happen. The car isn't even on the mud, yet it won't get traction because it's a bit wet. Oh, for... Huh? I've got a sneaking suspicion that I'm not going to be able to move it, because if you try doing it at low revs, it's just going to stall. High revs, it's just going to spin. But I'm going to give it another go anyway before senior mustard's going to have to be called. Whoa. Ah. Maybe it just needed a bit of freeing up. Okay, I think that's enough space. All I've got to do now is clear a few bits here, get the trolley jack down, and I'll start on this side. If I can get this, if I can replace that with something that works, then I'm okay. The debris left behind. Look at that. Wonderful, eh? I'll tell you what else though. Look what I've just found. An empty bottle. An empty litre bottle of blended whiskey. Is there a possibility of a Caravan squatter, a drunken... Oh, Jesus. God, it's getting worse, this is. Doesn't that sound nice? Anyway, that's the awkward bit actually sorted out. With the exception of course, it's got to come back off because I can't tow it anywhere with this. The wheel trims on the Caravan are smashed. Yeah, they're just basically crumbled into nothing because the plastic's that old. Regardless, the wheel nuts came undone rather easily, so I'm not going to have to battle with that. All that's left is for me to jack it up, replace the wheels with wheels that hopefully fit, and then it can go. Wow, gosh, phew. Today is Caravan move day. Finally happening. About time. And also a bit of a relief. Yeah. For me. Now, I was watching Boaty's live stream the other day and he started saying, surely we could all club together and pay Mustard to keep the Caravan in the yard. No one's going to pay me to keep the Caravan here, are they? And it's not even about the money. Not that I'm flush, but I made sure that Rover SD1 went, and that, the man who owned that car was happy to pay me every month, and that took up less space than the Caravan, and looked distinctly less, you know, I don't have to remind anyone surely that this yard, parts of this yard are paid for my use. That's it. I pay for the yard to put things that belong to me in. So anything that doesn't belong to me shouldn't really be here. Now the Caravan, you could say, well, it does belong to you. It belongs to both of us. But it's basically taking away an opportunity to remain on good terms with the landlord. So, what do I prefer? Here's my choice. Keep the Caravan, because we can sit down in it sometimes, or keep the yard, because there's somewhere to store a Caravan. I still need a solution to get rid of all the debris, because I haven't got one. I can't just take it all to the tip, can I? I'm going to have to pay some... I mean, I need a van. I need to... Quite possibly what I need to do is get in contact with one of these rubbish removal people that will come along and charge £100 or whatever it is to just take a van load of stuff away. That's probably going to be the next step. Popping into the yard and seeing a car, and then another car parked under some trees, not a problem. Popping into the actual lockup and seeing a load of blurry mess because I've left the portrait video thing on, not a problem. A car with a couple of bits missing off it inside the lockup, guess what? That's not a problem. However, just like a box full of bits in front of a knackered car, a Caravan sort of looks a bit unsightly. Might help if it was clean. Back to portrait. Oh gosh. I'm trying to pull the Caravan out now without catching the wall. That's the next trick. Yes, done it. That's hideous, isn't it? Oh, did you... Yep, they're fine. It's a sad day for fans of the Caravan. George Rogerbotty. So that's bolted then, isn't it? It is. Windows flapping about.
Sorry, not close. Although I can't actually see down the side of the Caravan quite, but
This reminds me of Duel. Yeah. They overtake this tractor and they'll come up behind you really quickly.
not been down, is it?
Yeah, I reckon he'll pick up quite a lot now.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's a sad day, but it's also a very positive day, because now with the space opened up here, I can really start to crack on and get my part of this deal, this yard, sorted out, enabling me to stay here. That Caravan really did take up an awful lot of space. That now means that there are only three vehicles in the yard that aren't mine. Oh, and a bike. No, sorry, four vehicles. My drive home, you know what that means, don't you? It means time for the end of it. Time to say thank you for watching. Time to say thank you for being a subscriber and a channel member. And thank you to Mr. Seedy and Mustard for the lift over with this vehicle, which is now out of the yard. You and to David for taking it on. Right. I guess that's it. Yeah? Yeah, I think that's it.